Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music blessing and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is July 10th, 2025. Every morning we've been blessed to come together to learn Torah together, to find each other. Oh, it's so good to see you, my friend Evan and Bensi, Susie, Cool Mama Weiss. Not sure who you are, but you must be very cool. Shush, good to see you. Arlene and Pete, Adele, Tara, Boker Tov. Boker Tov, friends. Jerry and Penny. Penny, thank you for the reminder. It's broadcast 1342. Rosa and Arlene, Jerry and Ashley, Jack, Boker Tov, Valerie and Jonathan, Linda, good morning. Amy, it's nice to see you. Linda and Kim, Boker Tov. We'll say hi to a few more people, then we'll sing a bracha and get started with some learning. Lydia and David, Debbie and Dale, good morning, friends. It's really good to see all of you. Michelle, welcome, Boker Tov. Let's take a breath, everybody. Sing a bracha. We're going to learn some Torah. Peter, nice to see you too. Hi, Cecile. Boker Tov, everyone. Good morning. A little confession. I asked my wife, my precious teacher, Neshama, just a couple minutes ago, what am I going to talk about? Because this week's Torah portion, Balak, is full of magic and curses and blessing, and we've spoken about it. But what I shared with her, and what I'm sharing with you now, is that it is tiring to both tell the story from the Parsha and also feel its resonance in our world today about curses being thrown. And in our case, curses being thrown at us. Now, it's not the only story that's happening in the world, and it's not the only thing that we point to in this community, this broadcast. But it is exhausting to live in a world where this continues. Susan just shared, I'm just quoting you, Susan. She writes, my brother just called to say he is okay. There was a terrorist attack in his community, Gush Etzion. I was seeing that headline, and that's what was in my heart as I said that. Susan, all of our prayers are for your brother and his family and the entire community in Gush Etzion. I am so sorry, and I'm so grateful that he's okay. One person was killed in the attack, according to an updated headline from 10 minutes ago. It's exhausting, isn't it? And what I want to focus on in this broadcast about the Parsha and about our world is not the exhaustion, but it would be inauthentic for me not to name it. So I thank my wife for encouraging me to say so. And Susan, this Torah is in honor of your brother's community. And Judy is sharing that it was the exact same spot that Ari Fuld, alav shalom, of blessed memory, was murdered. How can we not be tired of such things? And I watch our leaders continue our work, all of it, professional and volunteer, at an insane pace with a gift of strength that means we are truly drawing on the legacy of our ancestors and the energy they bequeathed to us. This is the work we do so that the next chapter of the story will be better for our descendants than this one has been for us. It takes a lot of work. And you wonder, or I do, this Parsha is strange in countless ways. One of them is that Balak, the king, hires the prophet Bilam to curse the people. And the Torah, fascinating, includes the power of Bilam in the story. You would think that the story would diminish Bilam's standing. Oh yes, the king might think that this prophet could impact Bnei Israel, the Israelites. But no, of course he couldn't, because only our prophet is the true prophet. And in fact, that's not what the Torah says. The Torah acknowledges the danger of a mercenary prophet. And what a fascinating thing to realize the Torah includes. That there are other uses of divine power. Bilam, interestingly, talks to our God, to God, and the name that Bilam uses alternates between Elohim and also the sacred name of God that we don't pronounce, but it's in the Torah. Bilam has access to God. How can that be? Now, the Torah doesn't explain how it could be, and the rabbis explore how is it possible for someone with ill intent to tap into such cosmic strength as to be dangerous to a community. And here's an interesting midrash. I don't share it often, but it's a classic midrash that uses etymology. The word vayikra, and God called, kuf resh aleph, is used often when it comes to Moshe. And interestingly enough, when that word is used in connection to Bilam, the prophet that King Balak hires to curse the Jews, the word is vayikar. There's a letter missing. And the rabbis look at these two words, and this is going to be a little bit off color. You'd be surprised sometimes to see the kind of language that is in ancient midrash. But this fascinating thing is that when God called Moshe, it's vayikra, it's a mutual calling. It is a sharing. And the rabbis use the word vayikar, a similar sounding word, to be the way that God and Bilam connect. And vayikar, they connect, this is very strange, I know it is, to the word keri, which is the example in the Torah and in rabbinic tradition of a seminal emission. When someone wakes up and realizes that they have had an emission that wasn't a shared relational one. I know I'm being oblique, but it's what rabbis do sometimes when we talk about such things. What it means is that the connection between God and Bilam isn't a relationship. It isn't even intentional. Sometimes the divine erupts, and the impact is an unintentional one, and the wrong person is connected with, and then channels that power in the way that they would choose. And since not all people have good in their hearts, sometimes that power erupts in ways that is destructive in this world. Because what the rabbis are trying to do, and what it is so exhausting to continue trying to do, and what we will continue doing, is to fight for justice in a world where it isn't the way it should be. How is it possible that people who should not wield power end up wielding so much power? And the rabbis are in a world where this is the case. Remember, the rabbis lived during a time of the Roman occupation of the ancient land of Israel. Power is not where it should be. And we try our best to understand how that could possibly come to be. The rabbis don't deny that Balaam has strength. They don't deny because they can't. The Torah makes it very clear that Balaam has a connection with the divine. But they can't understand why God would want that connection. How could someone whose intention to curse is so clear, or who is so amoral that they're a prophet for hire, they'll curse when they're paid, how could they have access to God? And they do have access to God. Because the Torah doesn't deny that divine power can be channeled for a curse. But the Torah and rabbinic tradition and we must see ourselves in the role of God, as God is demonstrated to grab that curse midair. Yes, it was uttered. Yes, it is dangerous. It is a real weapon. A weapon that should never be wielded by those whose aim is to hurt. A curse. And God grabs the curse and stops it and turns it around. We must see ourselves in that role, the ones who stop the curses. I guess that's what I've been saying this whole time. It's exhausting that we have to be so busy in the world to stop the curses, because they're real and they're dangerous, and they always have been. There's always been a king like Balak, and there's always been a prophet like Balaam. Those in positions of power who would use their power to hurt others, to curse. And it is our job, tiring though it may be, to get in the way of those curses, to grab them out of the air and turn it into a blessing. We have to be strong enough to do that, friends. We have to continue to be strong enough to do that. It means we have to take good care of ourselves. That's why when I woke up this morning and my wife asked me to talk about this, I knew her wisdom. It is an acknowledgement of vulnerability. But what an important part of being in community. If blessing is to be real, isn't it meant to be between real people? Balaam is very complicated. But he exists. He existed then and he exists now. Balak is dangerous, will use his wealth and his platform to hurt others. And it is our job to minimize that impact and maybe even grab the power to be used for good. We have to be cautious, because any power grab usually results in someone else being seduced by the temptations that come with power. So we have to remain good and grounded, and to take curses and stop them, to, as Rosa says, to be a shield. Valerie writes, to be unified against those who curse. And one last time, grateful to my wife for reminding me that in order to do this, we have to acknowledge the cost on ourselves. When you get in the way of the curse, that takes a toll. And so I would encourage you, friends, in this moment, if you've been one of the, let's think of a nice word for it, the curse transmogrifiers, if you've been part of making more good happen in a world where not enough good happens, take good care of yourself. Rest. Have some coffee. Take a walk. Talk to your family. Eat something healthy. And if you find yourself feeling strong enough today, awesome. Reach out to someone who you think might need the call and remind them that if they are to be the source of blessing they intend to be, they have to take care of themselves too. What a blessing it is to be in community and to be in this loving relationship that has blessed my life. It doesn't mean that suddenly we're invulnerable to the world, no. But it means that we feel less alone when we try to stop the curses and we try to extend the blessings. So bless you, friends. Take a breath with me. I promise I'll do my work too. Wherever there's a Bilam, wherever there's a Balak, there was always a Miriam. There was always a Moshe too. That's us. That's our work. What a blessing it is to do this work. What a blessing it is to be in community with others who do this work. So l'chaim to you, friends. L'chaim. To life. Let's sing a bracha as we will until we don't need to anymore. That our 50 beloveds will come home. That there'll be no more attacks. Please, God. Please. Send your hearts to the east and sing with me. Kol hon balevav pnima nefesh Yehudi homiya ulefate mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia od lo avda tikvatenu hatikva bat shnot alpayim liot am chofshi be'artzeinu Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim liot am chofshi be'artzeinu Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Bring them home now. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow.